This video demonstrates the drop stitch waste yarn cast on for beginning in 1x1 rib. First, make your needle selection according to the width of the goods that you're knitting or the pattern piece that you're producing. It's my preference that the end needles be on the main bed. Sometimes this isn't always possible, but if it is, set up your needle selection in this way. Pick up your waste yarn, thread the connecting arm, and knit one zigzag row at the main tension dial settings for your rib. Sometimes when we're knitting at a higher tension dial setting, which is often significantly looser than the tightest row we aim to achieve in main yarn, not all the needles knit. Because this is waste yarn, we're not all that concerned with how this cast on appears, so pick up and rehang any loops that may not have hung on to the needles after this first pass. With any other rib start, hang the comb and then place the appropriate amount of weights within the comb. For this width of knitting, I'm using just one barrel weight. After the comb and the weight are hung, knit about 10 rows. There's no need to knit any tubular courses to set up the edge. This is waste yarn. It will be removed from the knitting and discarded. We can immediately start knitting. Set the cams to slip in opposing directions and knit a full tubular course, which is 2 passes of the carriage. Then disconnect the ribber carriage from the connecting arm and drop all of the stitches off of the ribber bed. Break the waste yarn, push it through the bed, and secure it with a clothespin. Pull down firmly on the comb to drop the stitches that were just released from the ribber bed a few rows, and then pick up your main yarn, securing it with a clothespin, and installing the yarn into the connecting arm. Be sure all cams are released so you knit plain. Set both tension dials to 0, 0, and knit the zigzag row. Double check to ensure that all of the main bed stitches have knit off cleanly. Then set the cams back to knit tubular, so slipping in opposing directions. Increase the tension to 1, 1, and knit a full tubular course or 2 passes of the carriage. Release the cams, grade the tension to 2, 2, and knit 1 row to close the cast on. Continue increasing your tension dial by 1 whole number each subsequent row until you reach main tension. To release the waste yarn, cut the last stitch on the side opposite the yarn tail from the last row of waste yarn and pull the yarn tail through, releasing the waste yarn from the cast on edge in main yarn.